Lunch. How you do, Buckaroos? Have that card. I typically go on Fridays, but I was so tired yesterday I didn't even have anything to drink. Thursday or Friday. Oh, but I thought I'd have one or two with you tonight. I'm starting with a beer that I didn't know I had. It's probably been in my fridge. Probably about 3 months. Kind of forgot I had one left. From Banter Brewing. Let me show you the label there. Banter Brewing. This is their Fireside Sipper at 9.5%, an imperial stout that uses vanilla beans and hazelnuts and sluncia. Oh, wow. The nose is still there. Yeah. Wow. A deep chocolate malt notes. Definitely feel those hazelnuts. Oh, God, that's delicious. We must have been canned well. That's still kicking. Because a beer like this should last a while, but oh, mercy, let me make some room here so I can just set it down. Now, I was trying to decide what whiskey to have. This wasn't necessarily the most ideal pairing, but I was going through some others and I just saw I had a tiny bit of this left. Worked out to about, well, got a little bit left out of that bottle, about an ounce and a half. We didn't quite feel a 2 ounce shot glass. It's from, I picked this up back in August when I visited Restless Spirits. This is the Gully Town American Single Malt Whiskey. Believe it's at 92 proof, or it could be 96. I can't read the tiny ass writing they got in there. Again, it's American single malt whiskey. This one's at 5 years. It's absolutely gorgeous. Aged a lot like a Irish whiskey. Irish immigrants of the 1800s arrived in America, bringing with them a work hard, play hard approach to life and deep rooted passion for the land they left behind. Their love for malt based whiskeys remained in their hearts and continued to be a piece of the play hard part of their days. This American single malt whiskey is made using the mashing, fermenting, and distilling techniques of their homeland. Aged on used bourbon oak, much like an Irish whiskeys are aged, most Irish, I should say. This very special whiskey is all American, but rooted in Irish tradition. So, yes, it does have a lot of the feel of a good Irish single malt. So, there's about an ounce and a half left. I poured to have with you. Oh, man. A little bit of sweet honey on the note. Brandon, how are you? What are you drinking, my friend? I know you got to be having some whiskey. I don't know. I kind of did this one spur of the moment. I really didn't tell anybody I was doing it. Because I typically do a Friday and Saturday, but I was so tired yesterday, I did not. Oh, that's nice. Oh, yeah. It does. It drinks much like an Irish whiskey. It really does. It feels like you get those same honey and heather notes you get from a good Irish. Little bit sweet, a little the light oak in the finish, earning its name, the smooth, sweeter one. Oh, man, I forgot how much I love this beer. I did pick up some, and I thought I'd gone through it all, but I found one lone can that kind of got pushed to the back. Said, "Oh my god, I can't believe I still have one of those! Son of a bitch! This beer is outstanding." Oh, Set that down again. Pour the rest of that in there if it'll fit. I try to drink just enough to get the rest of it in there. Oh, yeah, now it's the perfect. Look at that. Now it looks just like I want it to look. There we go. That's gorgeous, Tom. I don't care who you are. That's a pretty beer, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. I can always finish the conversation with myself, you know. I have that ability. Oh, mercy. I'm tired. I worked a long day, but not as tired as I was. Uh, sometimes life takes us in different directions. I ended up in retail young, so I kind of made that my path, and I got to where that's all I knew, and I was good at it. So some point, I just kind of figured this is what I'm going to have to do because not really trained to do anything else, right? And I did it for as long as I could, and then I just really got burned out. Then, of course, our son Seamus got sick, and that kind of changed the game. I was lucky in 2016 to get a job working for Saddlebach in Springdale, Arkansas. So then I was able to kind of reinvent myself and learn something different. I had done sales before, but never quite like that. So, and I loved working with beer and I loved meeting people in the industry. So that was great. And I probably would have done it longer had I not had some medical issues I had to attend to right away. Ended up having I left in 2018. I had 3 surgeries that year. One for a meniscus tear, one for a carpal tunnel on the left hand, the other for a hernia. So had to come back to Missouri for that. So I left that job, and I probably could have went back to it, but it was very tough going back and forth from Missouri to Arkansas. And I don't think my wife was convinced that we wanted to live in Arkansas. So once again, I kind of looked to reinvent myself, and I found a great job with a nonprofit, doing something a little bit different, but using the knowledge I had learned over the years. I wasn't managing people anymore, which was great, but I was still managing an inventory and managing a budget. And the folks that I worked with, at least for the first 3.5 years, understood that I brought a lot of work experience to the table and 30 plus years of management experience to the table. So they listened to my ideas and implemented or let me implement a lot of them. And I was able to expand the position from what it was to what I turned it into. I think we had a regime change and things just for a while there, I just kind of got ignored and ostracized. And then it just became unbearable and it was just time to leave. When the main focus of what the position once was turned into something else, it was time for me to find a way to move on. So letting it go was a bit of a gamble, and it still is. But I'm grateful to be where I'm at now at Banter Brewing among people that, again, once again, I feel appreciated. People that understand I have a lot of work and life experience and listen to that, listen to the knowledge that I bring to the table, which had been non existent the last year and a half. So I'm doing a lot of different things, which I'm really enjoying. Even though I'm working long days or some long days, not all, but some long days, I don't feel exhausted because most I don't feel mentally exhausted like I did before. And I just have the normal aches and pains, but I feel good about the job that was done during that day. So that's nice. Uh, this beer is absolutely incredible, man. Yeah, I kind of forgot about it. Well, I thought I drank them all. And like I said, I just happened to find this one hiding, and I'm sure I canned it myself, so I must have did all right because all the flavors are there. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous, man. Perfect for tonight when I just wanted to have one to relax, wind down from a long day, take it easy. Initially, I thought I've got a couple Springfield whiskeys I thought about having, and this is Bristol Spirits. They're out of Kansas City, so they're not far from local, right? But I was going to do more of a bourbon that might pair better with this particular beer, but I saw I only had about an ounce and a half left in there. I said, well, we might as well finish her up. She lived a good life. I'd like to get back to Restless Spirits. I probably won't for a while though, but I really like them. Their products are amazing. The customer service is outstanding. I couldn't recommend them more highly. If you have a chance to visit Restless Spirits in North Kansas City, Missouri, I suggest you do so. They are great, man. The staff is great. The products are great. I mean, everything is just incredible. Oh, excuse me. I've kind of put this together spur of the moment because I didn't know when I was going to get home and be able to do it, or so I didn't put a lot of thought into what I was going to drink. I just came home, oh, and I found that can when I was looking for something else. Okay, we're going to have that one, and then when I sat down and got the video ready, I said, okay, well, I guess we'll do this whiskey since there's only this much left. That just makes sense, man. Anyways, lunch. Yeah. But I like I like what Gully Town, I like what Restless Spirits represents, right? They are an American distillery, but with their roots in heritage in Ireland. So I appreciate that being of Irish ancestry myself. Oh, man. Oh. All right. Excuse me. Now that one is gone. I'm going to pour another one here. And I wasn't going to, but since I poured the other one, I feel like I should pour this one. Well, the goal was always to have two, but these two just kind of came upon the same. Can't tell if this is 92 or 96 proof. This is a straight single American malt whiskey. The difference, well, let's see if my old eyes can read this little writing. The Gully Town story draws upon Kansas City history of the 1800s and Irish immigrants whose labor contributed to our westward expansion. This whiskey is created to honor their work and determination and reflects the mashing, fermenting, and distilling techniques of their homeland, very similar to what the other one said. This American straight single malt whiskey made from 100% malted barley and twice distilled in copper pot stills was aged for 5 years in new charred American white oak barrels. So the difference here is where that we used, you know, used bourbon cask, much like an Irish whiskey. This one is new oak. So you can see that pigment there. You can see how dark it is. So that's the big difference here. So I'm going to pour myself a nice solid 2 ounce pour. Oh, into my Bourbon Society of the Ozarks glass here. There we go. similar aromas to the other one, but again, it's a little deeper because you've got more oak here, right? You got more char on that oak. Oh, mercy, that's freaking gorgeous. I'm gonna let that sit a second and pick this beer up, man. How we doing? I'm starting to feel better already. I had a friend ask me just before I left, for a few minutes before I left work, he says, how long after you get home are you going to have that whiskey poured, Tom? I said, well, I got to get in the house, start taking off my clothes. As I get to the bedroom, I get my comfy sweats on. I'm guessing about a minute and a half. Anyway, because I was setting up the video, it did take me longer than that, but but it was the spirit in which the question was asked. Anyway, I digress. But I digress, man. I've been using that line for a while. Did I invent the line? No, of course not. I've never said I invented, but it is something I am known for at this point. After doing these videos for as long as I've been doing them. Oh, oh man, that is nice. The nose on this is insane. As much as I like the other whiskey, especially since it so closely resembles an Irish whiskey, I really love this one. It just feels more luxurious, right? It feels more decadent. The viscosity, the mouthfeel, you just got that velvety, smooth texture. Those great big toffee notes. Rich brown sugar because you get a nice hit of molasses in there. Oh man, that whiskey is something. A lot of oak in the finish. You really feel that char all the way through. And because they're new white oak, you're going to feel those spice notes more prominent. And a lot of people don't realize how many of the spice notes you get in the whiskey are coming from the barrel. Oh, fuck nuggets and gravy. Those beer suck. Boy, I'm so glad I found this. I didn't even know I had one left. I can't believe. If I thought I looked at it wrong, I was looking for something else. I pushed it off to the side while I was looking, then I picked it up. And, holy crap! I can't believe that's what it is, man. I was so excited. Holy Moses! My dad used to say this thing, and it never quite made sense to me, but it was funny. As a kid, I just laughed my head off every time he said it. He would say, "Holy Moses, Happy Land." Baby shit in Papa's head. Papa said it didn't hurt, so baby let another squirt. Still don't know what it means, but it was funny at the time. anyways, anyways, I digress. I've led a colorful childhood, let's just say. And I can tell you stories about my childhood. My brother and I have done that. We've told stories about our childhood, and people think we're kidding. And if anything, we're kind of dialing it down. No, we're not embellishing. We're actually doing the exact opposite of embellishing. But people think that can't be true. Never. Yeah, you would think. You would think it couldn't be true, but nevertheless. Nevertheless. Wow, this stuff is amazing. I really like it. I do love the other one, and it's not really a fair comparison because they're really different animals, even though they're both single malt whiskeys. It's just that full oak really does something different because I do love Irish whiskeys for that reason that they are light, they're subtle. But this American single malt category is just a whole other animal, man. I really enjoy it. I've enjoyed seeing different distilleries' interpretation of the style. Union Horse, another one out of Kansas City, does one called the Rivalist that is just exquisite. I've got the Yellowstone here actually on the cart at 108 proof was what I was going to use, and I went with the two Gully Towns instead. But at a Limestone Brash out of Lebanon, Kentucky. Uh, and it's just quite it just that's what amazes me is all the American single malts I've had are quite different, and I love that interpretation. Right, they're all using 100% malted barley, but what they're doing with it is completely different from one another, and that's what I love about this category. I'm a big fan of single malt whiskeys, man. I just think Americans do it better than others. Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of Scotch. I guess there are those that say, "Well, that is the best." I guess it depends on what you're looking for. Scotch is very distinct. There's a specific flavor, but if we're talking qualities, there isn't a Scotch on the market that's a better quality. You may like that better, but there's not a single malt on the market that is a better quality than these American single malts, and that's what I'm saying. Now, if you like that better, hey man, that's between you and your taste buds. I want nothing to do with it. I'm just telling you what some of these smaller American distilleries are doing with this category is nothing short of amazing. Fireplace. No, this isn't my fireplace at home. If some of you are wondering, no, Tom, it can't be. No, I really can't. But it was a fireside sipper, you see. So I was going to do a different background. So, oh, it's a fireside sipper. I probably better use this one. Anyway, I digress. Pick my whiskey back up. Let's see this bottle. Aged in new charred oak barrels, double distilled in pot stills. Barrel date 4/2/2018. Bottle date 5/10 of 23. While the other one, oh, I didn't put that cork back in. While the other Gully Town said aged 6 years in bourbon oak barrels, double distilled, barrel date 3/31 of 18, bottle date 5/10 of 23. So there we go. Let me show you that one more time and that from the first one we had, and then I'm going to show you the label of the other one as well, so you get a good feel for it there. American single malt. I dig it, man. I can dig it. My Bourbon Society of the Ozarks glass. Launch it. Oh, biscuits, man, that is good. Anyways, I digress. Oh, aches and pains are starting to fade away a little bit. That is the one thing I do love about this job is that they do allow me a level of creativity to create new things and uh My thoughts and opinions and experience seem to be valued. But even though when I've worked a hard day, I don't have that mental anguish, that mental stress that I had before. So it was tough to make that change. It really was, because I was giving up security for an unknown. But sometimes you just got to take a chance and roll the dice and do what you believe. A lot of big chocolate notes going on here. Dark chocolate. Again, you feel a lot of vanilla. Um, Hazelnuts. Yeah, you do feel those toasted hazelnut notes. It's just an absolutely gorgeous beer, man. Biscuits and gravy. Pick up that whiskey again. Man, that whiskey is. Oh, that nose, I feel like, just keeps getting better and better. Now I get something else. That's holy crap. Oh man, this stuff is just gorgeous. I do love Russell Spirits. So even their other products are great, though. Here I've got some of their Duffy's Run vodka. This vodka is insane too, man. It's a 90 proof vodka that has just wow, man. I knew I wanted to do a nice big beer because I was going to do a barley wine until I found this one and well, some kind of whiskey that I was going to say bourbon, but then I saw these American single malts and decided to go through them. But looking at that Duffy's Run, I'm thinking maybe a dirty martini is in order tomorrow. And we'll see. I'm off tomorrow. We're going to play it by ear. Anyway, oh man, that stuff is just so easy to drink. All right, folks. Well, it's time to wrap this up. I've talked long enough. I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and I am also Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, whiskey evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and ah, all around good guy, Sláinte.